Hey, what's up? It's Brian Soscia at TheBriansoscia on Twitter. Always willing to talk wrestling with you. Just tweet me. Today, another WWE exclusive. Good folks at WWE always taking care of us. And it's a big event. WrestleMania. Everyone's pumped for it. WrestleMania 30 going to be on the network. But the night before the Hall of Fame, which has become a very important night in wrestling. It's April 5th. It goes down on the WWE Network, which, get that, WWE.com, $9.99 a month. It's like a steal. Everybody's going into a good class. Mr. T, Paul Bearer, The Ultimate Warrior, Carlos Colon, Jake the Snake, Razor Ramon, and the woman on the line with me, four-time WWE Women's Champion, Lita. What's up? How are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm awesome. It's great to have you on, too. I'm excited for you. WWE Hall of Fame, big deal. I mean, it's been a while since you've done this. You a little nervous? Do you have like a speech prepared? What's up?
Before we get into that, I would like to thank you for me being available today because I saw your tweet saying that we were going to be interviewing, and I was like, I don't have any interviews set up until next Friday when, you might be familiar with Total Divas star Mark Carrano.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah, Mark Carrano told me it was next Friday that I would be doing interviews, so I'm fortunate for your tweet. You got my scheduling right, and we're able to be here today, so I appreciate that.
Well, WWE probably doesn't tell you. You're welcome. They kind of hired me as an agent so I can just kind of let every talent know. It's WrestleMania time. Stuff gets confusing here. A lot going on.
I know. I think Mark Carrano better watch out.
My pretty face on Total Divas. How about it?
You seem to be on top of things. No, so yes, to answer your question, that was me avoiding. Yes, I am nervous. I am nervous to be in front of a large crowd and give a speech because that's not my normal life. My normal life is like chill and quiet and not speech worthy. So while in some ways I go back and forth. I go back and forth between being like, whoa, what I just said. I'm nervous and I'm not in front of people. But at the same time, like, it's my life. I know my story. I know what I think. So, it's not like I'm giving a speech on, like, a topic that I'm potentially not familiar about. If I get stuck, I'm telling a story about me, and I know what happened. So it'll be fine.
I think it will, too. Look, here's the deal. I'm the guy, whenever I do something, I always feel like if you don't have those butterflies, there's a little bit of a problem. That just means it means a lot to you. I'm excited to see you go in. And, I just got to ask you, though, when you started this journey, why? Why wrestling for you?
I was playing in bands, and I always loved being physical, just working out and just being outside and just. So when I saw wrestling, I was like, man, it's like being a rock star and an athlete combined into one job. So that's the job for me.
That's perfect. Well, I know it kind of seems like you're an adventurous type person, too. Am I wrong in saying that?
You are correct.
Perfect. Well, I know that you recently have been spending some time being adventurous in Nicaragua, of all places, right?
Yeah, that is correct. I have a house down there on the beach, and so I get to practice my Spanish and practice my surfing, and at the same time, it's like life is a scavenger hunt down there because you cannot just click on a button and the information that you need, or speak into your phone and the information that you need will just pop up. You got to hit the streets and touch and get out there to figure out what you need.
I definitely know that firsthand, actually. My fiance just got back from Nicaragua. She was there for like 3 weeks doing some volunteer charity stuff in Jinotega, if I'm saying that correctly. I think I am. She brought back a lot of good coffee. Coffee's awesome there.
That's coffee country up in Jinotega in the mountains. I'm down in the southern Pacific side, but on this last trip, I went on like a week road trip up there in the mountains. It's a really, I love it. We could have an entire interview about Nicaragua.
I'm sure we could. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on there, but I know the wrestling fans, WWE fans, want to hear about your career. So let's just get right to that. So when you started, I know you went to Mexico because you're into the lucha libre stuff, that type of wrestling, that style. Did you get trained there?
I was broken into the business down in Mexico, and then from there it was just like a pickup games all over the country once I got back. And anyone that would tell me or teach me anything, or anybody that would show me anything, give me a piece of advice, I was all eyes and all ears, and just kind of picked up things along the way, getting closer to my goal of being at the WWE.
That makes perfect sense. And then as far as, I think that one thing has always stood out since I've seen your career, and I followed you, I remember in Philly here being an ECW, Miss Congeniality. You were there fairly quickly.
Wow. I'd hire you. I'm just going to I'll go on the record. I'd hire you if I was running a company. You seem to know your things.
Well, I'm trying to get in there with the network, so we'll see what happens. Maybe some tweets will help me.
But put a word in for you.
Definitely. Do whatever you have to do, because I'm trying to get in there, and that goes for everybody listening, too. Back to what I was saying. ECW, Miss Congeniality, you were there for a short time. You always hear people coming in saying they got certain impressions of the ECW atmosphere, the locker room. What was your impression, and do you feel like your stay there, your short stay, was worthwhile in hindsight with your career?
Oh, geez. Yeah, two questions right there. What was it like, and was it a worthwhile stop? Absolutely a worthwhile stop. As far as just so many talents, and my job as being the human sponge to acquire the information by any means necessary to get my tools to be a better performer, to get to number one. And at that time there was the big three, and ECW being the third, but I wanted to be number one. So, yeah, a great learning ground. What was the locker room like? Really intimidating. So I didn't want to rub anybody the wrong way or get in trouble. I just wanted to soak it in and learn, and keeping out of the way, but staying close enough to be able to learn. And so yeah, that was my goal.
Well, it looks like you achieved your goal looking back. So let's just move right on. WWE, you get there, you come in, they put you with Essa Rios, and they call you Lita, which apparently you didn't even know about until it aired on TV. They didn't have a name for you. And they also told you, even though you're with a Mexican wrestler, they don't want you to act like you're a Mexican descent or anything like that. Now, as a young person coming in, did that give you a lot of hope for the future? They didn't want to kind of pigeonhole you, maybe big things in the future?
No, it did not feel that. It just felt more ambiguous. Which is fine. When we started, it was spur of the moment. It was like, hey, kids, you guys go out there. Today's your day. It wasn't like, we need to put a lot of foresight into this so we can package this properly. It was like, we're not quite sure what we're doing here, so why don't we make it a little open-ended? So it was more like that, and as opposed to, like, we got big plans for this kid. We need to make sure we protect her. It was, because as far as I was concerned, that was the ideal spot to be, was teamed up there with Essa Rios. I was a fan of his down in Mexico, and to be teamed up with him, that was, exactly where I wanted to be at the time, for me. So at that time, I would not have, eyes on a bigger prize. That was just an exciting spot for me to be placed in at the time.
Well, that makes perfect sense. And then your career goes on even further, and you end up doing a different type of look that we've never seen before. The baggy pants, the thong sticking out. Did you come up with that? Somebody give you a wedgie on the way to the ring? What was the deal with that whole outfit? It was pretty big. Even transferring kind of into pop culture.
That was my idea, and that was my idea because I was using moonsault as a finish. Okay. And I don't like how big, bulky knee pads look on, girly legs. So, and I wasn't going to not wear big, bulky knee pads because I was landing on my knees every night. So I thought, so the big baggy pants were a must. I needed to girl it up a bit, and I needed something to coordinate my top with. So I was like, I'll match my top to my underwear. And then we've taken care of that.
Yeah, and that look really helped you. I feel like it helped define you, launch your career. So moving on from there, you beat, now correct me if I'm wrong, but Stephine McMahon for your first WWE Women's title, right?
Yeah, that was my first title run, was beating Steph.
Okay, what were your emotions like with that? And, I say that because emotionally to win the title, but also I always hear a lot of the guys talking about wrestling with Vince or Shane. I never hear anybody talk about wrestling with Steph. Was it intimidating? Because she's kind of almost the boss. Not yet, but she is. Right.
At the time, she was excited to wrestle with me, and I was her first wrestling program, and she was a kid. We were training up at Titan Towers together. She was inviting me over for dinner, so it was exciting for me because it was my first title run, and, being in kind of the first program centered around me. But as far as Steph herself, we were figuring this out together.
Don't take this as an insult, because I've noticed this about a lot of divas. I'm going to compare your look in ECW to when you were coming up to your look in WWE. Things change, and I feel like once divas start in WWE, you see them early in their career, they look like they get in better shape. They look like they get a little hotter. You'd think it'd be the opposite with the crazy schedule. Why do you think that is? I mean, do you learn to eat and train better from all the people around you, better makeup? Do you learn how to apply it better, maybe? I don't know how this works.
Just more is at stake, and so just as you thought you couldn't train any harder, you find somehow to train harder, and so so there's that. Like, you're digging deeper, number one, and then number two is you're not putting your makeup on in like a compact at like a VFW hall. Like with under a fluorescent light. Like, there's a makeup artist and stuff there to help you out. So it's we get a little help. It's
a different ball game, basically. You've moved up, and now you're in a professional stage. It sounds like more so than what you did before that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I totally agree. It's like I see these girls that I knew from the indies, and they're attractive everyday girls, but then they're like turn into the like glam girls. You're like, whoa, stepping it up there. So I absolutely know what you're talking about, and it happens. Get shiny when you're up there.
Shiny, I like it. Well, you have to be. You're on TV. You're a TV star, right? So things are changing at that point. I want to end on a social media question. Somebody on Twitter, a female, at the Reverend, TheRevren, who looks to be a female training to get into wrestling in New York. So watch out for her. She wants to know, good question too, what did you find most difficult when you started training?
Let's see. I guess just the most thing I found difficult. I mean, okay, the pain is whatever. It sucked. It hurt. But that's you can block that out. You can push past that. I would say, I guess just the mental aspect of staying humble and open enough to be able to receive the information, and getting people to like that information is really valuable. So getting in a spot where people deem you worthy of having this information and knowledge that they have to help you do what you want to do.
It's like a magician. They don't want to tell you everything first, then you have to get in and be trusted. Totally understood. Well, Lita, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for visiting with us. Thanks for getting beneath the mat with us. We appreciate it. Always love talking to you, and hopefully we can do it again really soon. Congrats on the Hall of Fame induction. Looking forward to seeing what happens. Looking forward to your speech, and, well, we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot.